the small white thing, he says, "Hi, sir. Yes, sir. We certainly need marketing help." You see that? But every single day in the morning, about an hour, I read for about half an hour, 45 minutes. Then I write down some stuff. Sometimes it's to do, sometimes it's my goal. Just writing down, it helps. Old school, old fashioned pencil and paper. I don't even use a pen. Pencil and notebook, right? These are some of my last, previous years. Okay, you'll be surprised, right? So write it down. So we're going to go over a few things high level, and then we're going to zoom into, if you're at 0 to 10K a month right now, where would I recommend you to start? If you're at 10K to 20K, where would I recommend you stuff like that? Okay. I have a mentor. He's not an SEO. He's not in digital marketing. He's built a business, right? I shared about it in my Facebook also the other day, right? His business, he calls it debt-free cash flow. Debt-free cash flow. Okay. And we always like, yeah, debt-free cash flow. And I was always heard this term. Only recently it really kind of went inside deeper in my mind, because think about it, right? Let's just take an example, right? Let's just say I'm going to pick Paul. Paul said he's closer to his 10K goal, right? Paul, now if you make $10,000 a month, you're happy. You'll be happy, right? Paul's like, how do I even unsilence myself, right? Paul's like, yes, he's happy. Okay, thank you. Now let me ask this, right? If Paul makes that 10,000 a month and he's debt free in terms of his mortgage is paid, his house is paid off, his car is paid off, like there's no debt, there's no credit card debt. Do you think that $10,000 a month is going to go a lot far? There's so much peace of mind, right? I call it pom, plenty of money, but peace of mind also. We don't just want a million a month, but be working 24 hours a day. Doesn't, at least that's me. So one of the things early on in life I did when I was in my day job, and I still do this to be honest, right? I wrote down all my fixed costs, my variable expenses, and I want to slowly get to a point where I'm in the mortgage business model. What do I mean by that? All the payments that the clients have to pay me, all my incoming invoices, if they come on the first of the month, I know it's done. So let me show you an example, right? This is from so long ago, right? My mortgage was $2,000, my car payment was $700, my DT, the electricity bill, my energy bill. You see all that? Write your fixed cost. Okay, put an amount to it. Okay, my total fixed cost $4,000, 4,070 to be precise. Then my kids stuff, dancing, swimming, piano, whatever. Then my variable cost, groceries, eat out, and you just don't want to write it. Ideally, you want to take your last 3 months of your credit card or bank statement and be as accurate as possible. The reason I want you to do this is then we want to start seeing how we can get a client, a rank and run site, a faceless YouTube channel, a growth partner client. You decide what business model. Some bill is going to take, some invoice client payment is going to take care of this, preferably on the first of the month. So July 1st, if all my client payments came in on July 1st and I made 10,000, I'm happy. But then I have the remaining 29 or whatever days of the month, 30 days of the month, for me to go and get new businesses to keep increasing my income. Does that make sense? That's what I wanted to do. Paul says extract bank reports as CSV files for those needing. Yeah, there you go. I actually read the other day, upload your bank statements to ChatGPT or Manus. You make the call if you want to do that. And even ask Manus or ChatGPT. I think Grok was better. That the person who wrote it said, upload your expenses, right, to Grok or AI and say, hey, find out cheaper alternatives to all these expenses that I have, right? So if I'm spending $150 a month for Ahrefs, it'll actually search and say, you know what, this is a tool for $50 a month. It does the same thing, and you're saving $100 a month. Like with AI, it's going to be so much cheaper. You get the idea. Crazier. But you want to put this down, and then here is where you want to start. I want to ideally create an asset. Okay, maybe rank and rent site, maybe it's a client income. You decide how it's going to be. That doesn't take a lot of your time, and that's going to start taking care of each of your bills. So when I was in my day job, I put all this down. I still remember, this was 10 years ago, guys. All I wanted to do was this cell phone bill, the smallest bill, 80 bucks a month. I wanted to find somebody who will pay that. That's all I wanted to do. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me show you what I did. Where did that go? Okay, I was in General Motors, and this was the restaurant, Kebab Hut. This was the restaurant that when my colleagues and I would go, and we'll have lunch once a week, because it's a small salad place, like a small shawarma place. I talked to that guy. I've covered this in the past calls. I don't want to go in detail, right? And I basically told him, hey man, your website is ugly looking. I can make a better looking website. He said, how much? I said, $300. He said, yeah, let's do it. I was eating at his place every week or so. He knew me, right, by face, right? And so there was a trust factor, right? So that $300 took care of not just this one bill, maybe a couple of bills. Does that make sense? Ideally, a recurring, right? So you want to get to a point where right now, most of all of us, all of you, to be honest, is skill-based income. You have a skill you're doing in your job, or maybe it's a business, it's still your skill. You want to slowly turn into an asset base. Either rank and rent still works, or a growth partner client where a client pays you for SEO, plus you slowly become a partner. Okay, in terms of revenue share, equity, all of that. Okay, and we'll go into all of this nurturing and all that. Okay, let me give you an example of nurturing. Okay, one of the places I ate, okay, I'm going to show you all real life examples, right? This is the restaurant that opened in May, Indian restaurant. Okay, Indian restaurant that opened in May, right? I love eating food, okay, especially Indian food. You know how it is, right? The first week they opened, I went there. The owner himself was there. I talked to him, and I basically said, "Hey man, the same thing I always teach. Hey man, just curious, what do you do for marketing?" He's like, "I'm just new. We just opened it out. We put a Google listing. We have a website. What are ideas?" I said, "Hey, I do marketing for businesses. I love your food, man. It's really good. Is it okay if I take a look and I'll make a video totally free of what I think you can do?" Okay. Let me show this to you. He said, great. This was May. Okay. I went to Manus. Okay. Actually, before that, I wrote a few things on what I think I can do for him. Let me show this to you. Okay. Then he texted me a week ago. I covered this. Okay. Can you guys see this? The small white thing he says, "Hi, sir. Yes, sir. We certainly need marketing help." You see that? Okay. Just texting. This was last week, June 30th. Okay. And then he says, July 1st, I need help with catering marketing to get catering services. Okay. Here is what I did. Let me see if I can show this to you. Right. I went to Manus. Somewhere in Manus, I literally went and asked, hey, this is the restaurant. Okay. It wants catering clients. Give me a game plan. Ask me any questions before you come up with a game plan. It asked me a few questions. I gave the answers. It gave me a freaking blueprint. I took some pointers from it, slapped it into a Google Doc, sent it. He said, awesome, love it, thank you. Okay, I'll get back to you. Okay, it's all a nurturing process. I'm not salesy, nothing. This was July 1st. What is today? July 7th, July 8th. Okay, my wife's like, hey, I feel like eating Indian food. We are Indian food junkies, right? So I'm like, okay, let's go this restaurant. I go there. The owner is not there. Some other lady is there, right? I literally, okay, so here is the Google Doc I sent from Manus the other day. Literally, I took a picture of this today and said, "Great food, man." And I made a specific said, "This specific food is awesome." Right? He had something called thali. Thali, for those of you who don't know Indian food, is like a few dishes and rice. Right? Not too many restaurants offer that around here. So I posted and said, "Hey, here's what I said. Very good thali. Not many restaurants have this. You should promote this more if you can." He said, "I am in California. Let me call you today evening."